Brand new Monday, brand new week, and this is Private Practice. Welcome. Now, I haven't been advertising or letting anybody know that I was turning up today because, to be quite honest, I have been head into my focused activity for the day, and it wasn't that long ago that I realized that I hadn't let anyone know that I was actually going to be here. So, hurrah, if you arrive. Linda Mottram, thank you very much. It's lovely to see you again today. I just wanted to say how much I have enjoyed Facebook over the weekend, watching all of the fabulous people participating in Ernesto's Not Your Typical Psychotherapist Summit. I did manage to maintain my envy and jealousy and comparisonitis and FOMO streak. Thank goodness for Mother's Day, and thank goodness that my wonderful son spoiled me rotten, so I didn't give in to all of those negative Nellies in my head. It looks like it has been an amazing event. Congratulations again, Ernesto. And I'm assuming everybody who went is at home enjoying their families now. So I'm looking forward to being in LA in October for the Therapy Reimagined conference. So stay tuned for that. And we have some dates almost confirmed for the Success Mindset Masterclass, which is going to be happening just before the Therapy Reimagined. Don't know if you've been around this community for a while, but when I try and run events in the US, there's a lot more moving parts, including people are usually asleep when we're awake. So it makes getting information and details a little tricky, and I hate releasing things and then having to fix things later. Well, I don't. Sophie hates it when I do that. So we, because she's the one that has to clean up the mess that Joe makes. Let's just be really honest about that. So let's not make the mess in the first place. How to bless your staff. There you go. I wanted to talk some more today about the voices you're going to listen to this week. Who's in your head? Who are you going to, oh, now I've written some notes. So it's unusual for me to come to these with notes written. Who are you going to let talk to you this week? Now, we've all heard other people talk about it, and you've heard me talk about it as well. If we actually verbally spoke out the self-talk that we have going on in our heads to other people in our world, chances are that we would get into trouble with some sort of law. Yet it's acceptable for us to talk to ourselves like that, to say, you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, what a dumb thing to say, how could you? Or even beating yourself up, like I said I'd be there at 9 o'clock and it's 9:10 and oh my God, Joe's going to think I'm a horrible person because I'm 10 minutes late, or whatever it is. I have learned that the world doesn't end if people are 10 minutes late. I personally prefer to be 10 minutes early, but that's just my stuff. So what are the voices and where are they coming from? So I was in my yoga class this morning and I was introduced to this voice in someone else's head. Her name is Feral Beryl, and I think she is the coolest thing. I am now picturing myself when I have this lack of empathy, compassion, grace and kindness talk going on, that that's no longer a picture of me. It is this caricature of this thing, this person called Feral Beryl. So we've heard of Negative Nelly. We've now got Feral Beryl. My yoga instructor actually referred to himself as catastrophizing Keith. So I thought that was pretty cool as well. But where do these voices come from? Well, if you want to get really good at comparing yourself to all the other people in the world, then spend time on social media, because that is an awesome way for you to feel less than, unhopeful, like you're not good enough, like you're not skinny enough, like you're not strong enough, like you're not a good enough parent, like you're not a smart enough business owner, that you're not making enough money. We could really go to town with Feral Beryl in our head if we spent time on social media. Comparisonitis turns up for me on Instagram. I think it's just because there's lots of beautiful images and I just like to post images of coffee. Perfectionism turns up for me on Facebook, because I will often post things and go back later and realize there was a spelling error. Or I get lots of very well-meaning and helpful people telling me about the spelling errors. I do have some awesome people in my world who have access to my account who just go in and fix them without telling me. I love you people. Thank you very much. But for me, Facebook is just a constant reminder that I'm not perfect. And I sometimes find that really hard. But what was interesting for me was how LinkedIn turned up. And LinkedIn, it reinforces all of my unworthiness, all of my I'm not good enough stuff. The voices that speak to me on LinkedIn are about I'm not good enough, I've missed out, why would anyone want to listen to me, why would anybody want to hear what I have to say. Yet when I go to LinkedIn and I start communicating with my people on LinkedIn, I get really positive engagement. And I know a lot of the blog posts that I write for Purple Co and a lot of the videos that I produce for LinkedIn are actually being sent around companies as learning material. Thank you, I care. So I just want you to be clear about where these messages and where these voices are. I can often picture quite negative things. I am very much the person who runs from the stick rather than runs toward the carrot, if you know that analogy. So I'm always looking for those behavioral prompts that make me move away from pain rather than moving towards pleasure. I want to change that about myself. So one of the things I want to do this week and be focused on is apprehending these voices in my head and apprehending this self-talk as it comes along. My whole book, The Book of Evidence, subtitled The Book of My Super Awesome Self, just had to remember, which I am republishing at the moment, hurrah, is an antidote to this. It's a great way for you to start collecting the evidence of how awesome you are, as opposed to this consistent self-talk you have of how not good enough you are. So I'm really looking forward to being able to share that as a brand new resource as well. So intentionally this week, who are you going to listen to? Who are the people who speak wisdom, kindness, gratitude, grace, and compassion to you? Where are you going to find those voices in your head this week? And how are you going to practice speaking to yourself in those tones, with those words, with that intention yourself? Because I guarantee that if we can focus on this week, when we get to Friday, we are going to feel a whole lot more fulfilled about the way we have done our work. Yes, grace and wisdom, Linda. Let's get grace and wisdom speaking to us as opposed to criticism and belittling. So it's very easy to slip into that. And we are so hard on ourselves. And please understand that we are hard on ourselves because we care. We actually want to do good. So we actually hold ourselves to a much higher bar, a much higher level. But the way that we communicate that to ourselves is usually, you're crap, you sucked, you failed, as opposed to, wow, we missed it a bit there. Let's keep going and see what difference we can make. So my big challenge this week was what I posted first thing this morning, which is I have people to serve and problems to solve this week. Because I think in the last couple of months, I may have been very focused on the people to solve and the problems to serve. So there's some wisdom and hopefully some graciousness coming from me to you this week. It's a pretty busy week here again this week. I've got a trip to the city coming on Thursday, but I'm looking forward to being able to share with you this week. I'm writing a great blog post for Purple Co at the moment, giving myself some permission to not try and generate 3 blog posts a week on top of all the other content that I produce. I'm backing it off a bit and being a little bit more thoughtful. Yay, grace and compassion to Joe. Wow. I would love to know from those of you who watch this later, who are you listening to this week? Who are you listening for this week? Please share with your comments. Share with me in the comments below. My tongue might need a bit of a rest now. I will check back with you again tomorrow. For now, go be your awesome self.